with the Enthusiastic Tutor, and in today's tutorial happens to be the second class we're having on the course, ECE110. All right, and today it's it will be the last class we're having on the course. All right, so with this being said, let's okay into it. All right, just before we go straight into it, I also going to use the opportunity to let us know that all right, exam is closing down on us, it's fast approaching, so we'll be having less classes, and I think we'll be having more of the key points and and more of the Telegram classes, right? Just to catch up, right, with just acing up the pace or preparation for the exams. All right. So with this being said, let's go straight into it. Okay, so we have ECE 110. All right, ECE 110, and we're going to be talking about education. All right, we're going to be looking at education. All right, we're going to be looking at the aims and meaning. Okay, now let's talk about what Schofield said in 1982. All right, all right, Schofield in 1982. He said something. He said education is equivalent to what? Experience. All right. Schofield in 1982 quoted Lord. All right. He quoted quoting Lord. He said education, all right, is equivalent to experience. All right, according to Schofield in 1982, all right, he quoted Lord. All right, he said education is equivalent to experience. That is the experience we acquire every day at home, in the street, farm, at the school, all right, etc. is referred to as education. Now, education is, all right, is beyond the four walls of classroom. Okay, according to what we have here, education is what? Equivalent to experience, the process of learning. All right, the process of learning. Okay, it says everyday experience that we, all right, acquire at home, in the street, farm, school, and all right, where we come in contact with people. Okay, now education can be received anywhere. Basically, it can be received anywhere. All right, education can be received anywhere. Now, let's talk about, all right, just like what we say, education is beyond the four walls of a classroom. It goes beyond that. All right, the fact that you meet people, you interact, you see things, you come across something new, all right, you do new research, all right, you make your findings, all right, education has taken place. Okay, it's what we call what? Experience. All right, so we have that as that. Now, aims of education, all right, in a very simple way, we can say that aims refer to what? The long-term goals, all right, the long-term goals of education. Now, the aims of education by UNESCO, all right, the aims of education by UNESCO says, right, education is concerned with development of people. All right, UNESCO, all right, UNESCO said education is concerned with development of people, all right, according to their changing environment and culture. All right, death of people according, all right, to, all right, according to their what? changing environment and culture. All right, according to their changing environment and culture. All right, that is what UNESCO said. Okay, so we have that as that. UNESCO said education is concerned. All right, one of the aim of education, all right, is what it is concerned with what the changing. All right, concerned with the changing, all right, development of people according to their, all right, changing environment and culture, changing environment and culture. Okay, according to UNESCO. UNESCO said that is one of the aim of education. All right, all you need to note, all right, very well, is that, all right, all right, when we say education, it helps us to what? To do the things we know. All right, so let's erase this. Education helps to learn to do things. All right, helps to learn to do things. All right, that's another aim of education. It helps to learn, all right, to do things. Okay, now information or informal education is said to be now about informal, all right, informal education. Okay, informal education is said to be what? The oldest and the most natural way of learning. All right, the oldest and the natural way of learning. Okay, that's informal education. All right, this is the education that can happen anywhere. All right, this is what is called experience. It happens anywhere. It has no timing. All right, it can take place anywhere, at any instance, at any scenario. All right, that is the informal education. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, nobody is too old to learn. All right, in this natural way. All right, under this category, nobody is beyond it. All right, nobody is too old to learn under this natural way. It is also known as, all right, the traditional, all right, natural way of learning, or traditional way of learning. Okay, natural way or traditional way of learning. It's also referred to as the informal education. Okay, so we have that as that. And so talking about this, what are the major characteristics? Okay, speaking of which, what are the major characteristics of informal education? All right, we have your answers. All right, it has what we call, okay, okay, so we have the informal. Okay, now let's talk about the formal. All right, the formal education now. The formal. All right, the formal, as we've spoken of the informal, all right, education, which is the oldest, all right, and the natural way of learning. So also we have the formal education. All right, this education now is said to be the most popular, all right, kind of education. Okay, the most popular kind of education. So basically, we have two types of education. All right, we have the formal and the informal. Okay, now we've spoken about the informal. Now let's talk about the formal. All right, now the formal involves, all right, reading and writing, and it probably explains why it is the most popular form of education. All right, involves reading and writing. All right, and these two keywords explains why it is said to be the most popular. All right, the most popular form of education. Now we have the characteristics, right? Characteristics. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. Now we have this form of education has to do what? Literacy. All right, literacy and writing. Probably we would say literacy, we're talking about reading and writing. All right, it what has a specified syllabus. All right, specified syllabus or syllabus anyhow. Yeah, all right, there's a comprehensive guide. It follows a comprehensive guide. Okay, unlike the informal that happens, all right, that doesn't follow any pattern. Right, this has a specific syllabus. It follows a specific pattern. All right, it is also well organized. Okay, professional. All right, has professionally trained and regular teachers. All right, has professionals. All right, in charge, handling it. Okay, so we have. All right, it takes place in school. All right, this is the kind of education that happens between or within the four wall of the classroom. All right, so we have that as that. So we have. Now let's proceed. Okay. Now let's proceed. We have. Now let's talk about Western education. All right, Western education. Now, when we say Western education, what are we talking about? Western education simply means, all right, a formal kind of education or school education, all right, introduced by Christian missionaries, all right, who came from Western Europe. All right, we have Western education. Okay, now this is a formal education. All right, formal education or school education. All right, and basically this sort of education, all right, has its origin tied to the advent of Christian missionaries. All right, it has its history. All right, it has its history tied to the advent of the Christian missionaries. Okay, so we have introduced, that was introduced, all right, by the Christian missionaries. All right, Christian missionaries. Basically, this Western education was introduced, all right, by the Christian missionaries. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, the two most, okay, we have something here. Okay, we have there are two cases of people. Okay, now reasons of things that can be determined, right, by the case of this institute. Okay, that's what we have as Western education. Now the key point here is that it's a formal education. All right, it's said to be a school kind of education, and it was introduced by the, all right, Christian missionary, all right, who came from, all right, Western, all right, Europe. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's quickly discuss this certain points. All right, we have reasons of things that can determine the choice, all right, choice of marriage. All right, reasons or factors that can determine the choice of marriage. We have a good family background. All right, talking about choice of marriage. All right, wealth, social standings, and we have tribal or racial group. All right, we have wealth, We have social standing, and we have tribe or racial group. Okay, so we have that is that. All right, we have okay. Okay, now this is the point. It says here that in some parts of the world, like like Europe and America, it says people marry, all right, marry not purposely to have children, all right. In some parts of Europe and America, that people marry not purposely to have children, all right. So we can then say that people marry in Africa because of their love for children, all right. Africa love for children, right, leads to marriage, all right. But in some part of Europe and America, all right, less love, all right, marry is not, all right, purposely, all right, to have children, all right. So we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Okay, so we have some taboos, all right, associated with pregnancy, all right. We have some taboos associated with pregnancy. Let's look at the taboos associated with pregnancy. Okay. All right, according to UCA, all right, UCA in 1973. All right, according to UCA in 1973. Okay, now pregnant women should not look at ugly objects. All right, these are some myths. Maybe I should call them myths. All right, it says here pregnant women should not commit adultery. All right, pregnant women should not sorry about that. Pregnant women should not commit adultery. All right, pregnant women should not commit adultery. All right, these are some taboos. All right, we have pregnant women should not look at ugly objects. All right, so that their infants will not look ugly. All right, pregnant women also should not cross over their people should not cross over the feet. All right, people should not cross over the feet of a pregnant woman. Right? We have hunters should not kill animals during the time the wife is pregnant. All right, if a hunter's wife is pregnant, it is a taboo for the husband to go hunting. All right, so we have that as that. So we have birth and care of the child. All right, the woman is helped by older women in the family. All right, a woman who just who has just been put to birth. All right, is assisted with elderly women in the family. All right, when the baby is born, it must first cry before they can tell other people about the arrival of the baby. All right, the baby must cry, all right, before the arrival of the baby is being announced. All right, these are things associated with the birth and care of a child. All right, a child that takes the mother's breast milk regularly will have proper what? Physical, all right, for a child's proper and physical, mental well development. For a child proper physical and mental development, a child requires what? The mother's breast milk regularly, at least for a certain period of time. All right. So we have some areas that may affect, all right, the period of breastfeeding. All right. We have the health of the child, the health of the mother. All right. Breasts feeding on a child's, all right, health. All right. We have now we have sex of the baby. All right. The cutting of now. All right. So we have that as that. Breastfeeding is highly necessary in the growth and development of a child. All right, it's highly necessary. Okay, so we have that as that. All right, so we have. Now let's proceed. Now we have mother and child relationship. Okay, mother and child relationship. Mother and child relationship. Okay, speaking of which, in every society, the child is closer to the mother than, all right, the child is closer to the mother, all right, at the early stages than the father or any other person, all right. A child in a early stage, all right, is closer to the mother, all right, than every other person. Okay, it's closer to the mother than any other person. All right, it is this, all right, close relationship between the child and mother that makes all right, that makes very easy for the child to learn many things. All right, this closeness, right, fosters the child learning ability. All right, this closeness fosters the child's learning ability. All right, now the responsibility of the mother. All right, the mother is responsible, all right, child care, all right, child bearing, all right, child's career, housekeeping, part-time workers, all right, and the likes obey and respect the mother. Just a little one, a quick one on the responsibility of a mother. Okay, so we have that as that. So as we also have the responsibility of the father as well, which is to provide, all right, for the family, right, get close relationship, right, with his children, all right, okay, protect his family, all right, and train the children and discipline, all right, the family. Okay, so we have that as that. Now we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Okay, now we have something called skill acquisition, all right, through apprenticeship. Now when we say apprenticeship, right, it is a time whereby, all right, an individual signs up, all right, to learn a craft, all right, or a skill or a trade. Okay, apprenticeship, process of learning. Okay, we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Now let's see African perception of morality. Perception of morality. African perception of morality. Now, generally speaking, morality is concerned with, all right, good or bad behavior. All right, good, all right, bad behavior. All right, morality is concerned with good or bad behavior. Okay, now we have, without these moral standards, there will be no means of knowing whether what an individual is doing is wrong or bad. All right, so these are standard to checkmate behaviors. All right, standards to checkmate certain behaviors. All right, standards to checkmate certain behaviors. All right, so we have that as that. Now, in traditional African society, if you break what? If you break the codes of conduct, all right, such a person is punished. All right. Now we have that as that. So let's proceed. Now we have what's called chastity. All right. Chastity of sex education. All right. Now, when we say chastity, we are referring to the what? The life of purity. All right. Chaste. All right. Chastity. We are referring to the what? Life of purity. Chastity of sex education. All right. Now, a life free from sexual immorality. All right. A life free of sexual immorality. All right, a life free of sexual. Now, ladies who engage themselves with any of this immoral behavior often face serious sanctioning. Right, virginity tells much about moral uprightness of girls. All right, so we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Now we have okay. Now there's something called prolonged apprenticeship. All right, and this is one of the techniques traditional education, all right, uses, all right, in apprenticeship. All right, it is the time of proper training beginning. All right, the duration or length of the training is not fixed. All right, that is elongated or delayed or prolonged apprenticeship. All right, it's a kind of one that the time for apprenticeship is not fixed. All right. Now, somebody said something about reading and writing. A French philosopher said something about reading and writing. Okay. Now, the French philosopher named VOL1. All right. All right, the French philosopher VOL1, all right, said that it is those who can read and write, all right, that will lead the world. Okay, so he emphasizes on how important education is. Okay, so we have that as that, and we have here what is called, now it says the school, all right, is an environment that cannot be compared with the old community. It's, all right, it serves as, now we have, now the practical way of teaching in traditional education could be introduced. All right, it will be, all right, helpful to learners. Now, promotion of dignity of labor. Okay, now this is where we have all right, people in traditional society, African society, appreciate what? Fact that there is dignity in labor. All right, dignity in there is dignity in labor. All right. Now, it is a thing of great joy and pride to be associated with any of, right, a legitimate occupation. All right. These are the things that are being taught in African traditional schools. All right. People always recognize and appreciate good characters and high moral discipline. All right. Good character and high moral discipline. Okay, good character and high moral. These are all the things that is being learned, all right, in the African traditional, all right, form of school as a society. All right. Now, if you do not follow traditional ways of emphasizing high moral standard in society, we may not get the best out of the educational system. All right. So we have that on that as that for tonight, and we call it a wrap on the course ECE 110. All right. For as many of us, all right, who are new to the tutorial, maybe just coming across the tutorial for the very first time, right, do well to use the button in the description of this video and reach out to me, right, where you can get exam keynotes and practice questions, and where you can also get access to the classroom. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in subsequent tutorials. Bye bye.